Hello. Today I am going to discuss about separation of the components of the binary liquid mixture. Now, before we go for that, you must know what is meant by the binary liquid mixture. So, it is a binary liquid solution. A solution is a solute, and a solute plus a solvent gives you a solution. Your solution can be a solution of a solid into a liquid, solution of a gas into a liquid, or a solution of a liquid into a liquid. Now today we are going to talk about a solution of a liquid into a liquid. You might be more familiar with the solution of a solid into the liquid. When you just add salt to water or sugar to water, you get a solution of a solid to liquid. So there salt is your solute and solvent is the water. Of course here we are going to talk about a solution of two liquids, okay. So when one liquid is added to other liquid, your solute also is in a liquid state and your solvent also is in a liquid state. Here there are two possibilities. You may have when the two liquids are mixed with each other, so you may have a solution of A in B. So when A is taken in a smaller proportion and B is taken in a larger proportion, it is a solution of A in B, and it is vice versa. So it can be a solution of B in A or solution of A in B. Okay. Yes. Now types of binary liquid solutions. Now when you are mixing the two solutions, consider you have two solutions, solution A and solution B. Now when you are mixing the two solutions, it may so happen that the two solutions, they do not mix with each other at all, and that is the last condition here, number 3. So they do not mix with each other at all. That means they are completely immiscible with each other. So the chemicals, if you are talking about, it is chloroform and water, carbon tetrachloride and water, or simply oil and water, which you come across in your day-to-day life. The second possibility is if you are mixing the two solutions with each other, they are partially miscible with each other. And the example is when you add milk to water, what do you get? You get the opaque colored. It is a non-transparent solution. Why? Because it is partially miscible. It is not completely immiscible, but at the same time, some part of it goes into water and therefore you get the non-transparent solution. The third category, which is number 1 over here, the two liquids are completely miscible with each other. That is when you have alcohol and when you just add water to alcohol, you do not see two separate layers. So it is completely miscible with each other. So that is how we have 3 different categories of the solutions. Now today we are going to discuss about separation of the components. Just try to understand. You are mixing A with B, or maybe you are having the mixture of A and B which is not intentionally mixed together. So if you want to separate the components of your solution, how will you separate it out? Now there are different methods used for the separation. However, the liquids, the two liquids, whether they are completely miscible with each other or they are partially miscible with each other. Normally what happens is the miscibility for the two liquids, it increases with the increase in temperature. And for such liquids, the separation methods adopted, they are same as for the completely miscible liquids. So if your liquid is partially miscible or it is completely miscible, it can be separated by using the method which I am going to discuss here today. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay. So for the separation of the two liquids, the method that we follow is the method of distillation. Okay. Now what do we need to carry out a distillation? We need a distillation flask, we need a water condenser, we need a thermometer, then we need a heating mantle, or you can have a burner, and a reservoir to collect your separated liquid when the two liquids are separated from each other. Now here is the assembly that I use for the separation of the two liquids from each other. Now you can see here, this is what is known as the distillation flask. So it is a specially designed flask which is a round bottom flask, and how the distillation flask differs from the round bottom flask is that it is having a side arm. Okay. Now distillation flask should have a very tight cork. Why? Because whenever the separation is brought about, it is believed that one of the two liquids is volatile in nature. Volatile is, it is having the boiling point below 100 degrees Celsius. As a result of it, when it gets converted into the vapor state, the vapors may escape your container. And if you do not want the vapors to escape and get converted into the liquid state, then what we need to have is, we need to have a very tight cork as we have over here. Then is the thermometer. Now when we have a thermometer, the setting of the thermometer should be such that the bulb of the thermometer is near the T-joint of the distillation flask. Why this is essential? Because this is the point from where you can see the arrows. The vapors are passing into the condenser. What is over here is the water condenser. So what is a water condenser? Water condenser is a glass tube which is surrounded by the glass jacket. Okay. Now this glass jacket is having an inlet and it is having an outlet. So what you need to do is you need to continuously circulate the water through the water condenser. Now when you are circulating the water, the lower end, it has to be always the inlet and the upper end is going to be the outlet. Now why it is necessary? Because if you introduce the water from the upper end, what will happen? There will be the uneven layer of water, and which will not ensure the uniform cooling of the vapors. On the contrary, if the lower end is the inlet, what will happen is the water will rise into the glass jacket because of the capillary action, and which will ensure the uniform cooling of the vapors. So what happens is, one more important thing, when you start heating it, what you need to do is you need to add few pieces of porcelain. Now these pieces of porcelain, you have to make sure that they are clean pieces of porcelain, otherwise they will contaminate your mixture. So you just have to add it to the liquid so that there is uniform heating and bumping of the liquid will be avoided. You know that when you are heating something on a gas, sometimes it bumps, it starts bumping. So you have to avoid that, and the heating should be very gentle. Now when you start heating it, what will happen is the lower boiling liquid, the liquid which is having the lower boiling point, will get converted into the vapor state and will pass into, you can see from the arrows, it will get saturated. The space above the liquid, which open space above the liquid, it will get saturated with the vapors of the liquid. Those vapors then will pass through the tube, that is the condenser. Now condenser, the water is continuously circulated in this. So the vapors which are coming into the tube, they will be converted into the liquid state. So from liquid it is converted to vapor, from liquid again it is converted into, from vapor it is again converted into the liquid state. So what you are getting in the reservoir is nothing but the pure liquid. Now my other liquid, which was we are having the mixture of two liquids. So my other liquid which is remaining in the distillation flask is known as a distillate, and this liquid is the higher boiling liquid. So at the end of the process, you are having two liquids, one liquid which is having high boiling point remaining in the distillation flask, and the liquid which is having the lower boiling point or which is volatile in nature will be collected in the reservoir. So this is how we separate the two liquids from each other. Okay, this doesn't work. I had added a video actually. Anyway, we'll go ahead. Yes. Now what are the precautions to be taken? I have already discussed about it when I discussed the process. The distillation, yes, that is very important and I did not mention it. The distillation flask should never be more than half filled. You know, on the industrial scale, when the process of distillation is carried out, you may have the flask which is having the capacity maybe of 5000 liters also. In the laboratory, we are using the flask which is having the capacity of maybe 100 ml or 25 ml. But whatever is the capacity of the flask, it should never be more than half filled. So it should always be half filled. Heating should be gentle. Few porcelain pieces I have already explained why the porcelain pieces are required. The position of thermometer should be properly adjusted, and check the inlet and outlet of the condenser, because if you don't do that, then the uniform cooling will not take place and then you will not get the efficient separation of the two liquids from each other. So that is how we separate the two liquids when we are having the binary liquid system. The two liquids, the components of the liquid, they can be separated from each other by using this method. I hope it's clear. Any questions? Any questions?
No, it was very clear. I understood. I don't know how you did it, but you explained it that I could understand. So you're a true teacher.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I'll stop this recording.